Hey, how's it going everybody, and welcome back. This is Old School Gamer. We're back again with another video today. Now, Gearbox Software has recently made some type of partnership with G2A, which is a digital online marketplace that sells a bunch of Steam keys for games, which are actually very cheap, which is kind of sketchy and also a little bit shady. But Gearbox Software was actually going to use the G2A website to exclusively sell a special or collector's edition, whatever you want to call it, of Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, which is a HD remake of the original Bulletstorm that was released on the PS3 and also the 360, exclusively on their website. But now all of that has been shut down and is not going to happen because Gearbox Software has actually found out about how shady and sketchy the marketplace for G2A website actually is, on how they actually sell stolen keys or non-working keys. But the partnership that Gearbox Software was actually going to have with G2A was actually making a lot of people say that they weren't going to support Gearbox Software at all. Even a former YouTuber that goes by the name of Total Biscuit actually said that he was going to stop help promoting Bulletstorm and also any other future Gearbox Software games, which could be a big problem because I do believe Total Biscuit is actually a pretty big YouTuber and he actually has a pretty big fan base, so he can get a word around pretty quick about a game or whatnot. So after this, Gearbox Software actually made an ultimatum or a statement that G2A actually needs to change a whole bunch of their business practices. They actually made like 4 statements of changes that G2A actually has to make, and I'm just going to bring up a picture of all the statements and changes that they actually made, that they actually requested G2A to make. I'm just going to bring up a picture up right now. I'm not going to go over them just for the sake of having this video too long, so please forgive me on that. You guys can just read through it throughout the next few minutes or so that I'm talking. G2A actually has finally broken their silence after a while about all these changes that Gearbox Software actually requested. So G2A first started off by saying that all the statements that Gearbox was actually wanting to do were all false and defamatory. And I'm actually probably going to slaughter his name, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I'm just going to bring his name up right now. Don't worry, I'll go back to the picture here in just a second. But I'm just going to call him Cuck. He is actually the head of PR for G2A. He actually sent a 4-page document to Polygon the other morning about all of Gearbox's 4 demands that they issued for G2A to make. So he actually responded about all those demands, so we're going to go over about what he said right now. So he first started off by saying, "This is an excellent example that rash actions without full knowledge of the facts can be harmful to both the developer and the marketplace, especially since all of the requests made of G2A.com and the ultimatum have in fact long been part of our marketplace." So they're pretty much saying that everything that Gearbox Software was requesting them to do or change, that they have already in fact had all that in effect way before they even had a partnership with Gearbox. But apparently Gearbox isn't as happy as what they're doing with their marketplace as Gearbox actually wants them. That's what they prefer, which I agree with Gearbox. I think that they actually need to bump up their marketplace skills, get all the stolen game keys off. I never used G2A personally. I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but me myself, I never used G2A personally. I never knew about G2A till I actually heard about Gearbox Software, and this is actually my first time talking about this type of subject. So I was watching a YouTube video the other day. I forget the name of it. I think it was Review Tech USA. But he brought up a point in his video that whenever you're about to get a sponsorship from any type of company or anything like that, if you're about to get a sponsorship, whether you're a YouTuber or anything like that, you need to do your research about that certain company that's wanting to sponsor you, because you don't know about their background. If you're unfamiliar with them, you need to do your research, because they could have a shady background like how G2A is, and you might end up in a situation like Gearbox and G2A. You might end up in a situation like that or something similar, So you just need to do your research, look up your background, and know your facts about the company that you're about to get sponsorship with. But we're going to get on with the subject now. Cook also went on to say, "The main purpose and function of G2A Shield is to provide buyers with immense convenience and comfort." So now I'm going to say this, that G2A Shield is supposedly supposed to help protect you from all of the non-working Steam keys that the G2A website actually sell. Yeah, they sell non-working Steam keys, which is another shady marketplace act that they actually act upon, and they actually do. They do sell non-working Steam keys, so everybody is actually kind of unfamiliar on where they actually get these Steam keys from, or where these Steam keys are actually provided from, where they get them. So that's another shady act that they actually do. So they're knowingly and willingly selling you non-working Steam keys without you knowing, because you might be unaware. So that's fucked up in my opinion, but I could be misunderstanding, I could be misunderstanding that, that's a possibility, but Cook also goes on about how they actually need to protect the sellers and how they can't just give access to their database codes to any type of developer they want, or any or all developers they want. This is actually what he had to say about that. G2A.com has to protect every honest seller. And by giving such access to all developers, we would allow for a situation in which a developer could delete every key on our marketplace regardless of its origin. Such an action would be damaging to an industry, to gamers, and illegal. Polygon actually requested clarification of G2A on what he actually means by illegal. But for Cook's last statement, he says, all the developer must do is provide evidence that the keys that they want to block have been illegally acquired. This evidence can be, for example, a report for a financial institution. But other than that, he did not mention anything at all about a relationship between G2A and also Gearbox, or anything about the Bulletstorm Special Edition being taken off their website. He made no mention about that. He wasn't like, yeah, we're going to be ending off our partnership with Gearbox Software. They ended off the partnership or anything like that. They made no mention at all. They just mentioned their regards of all the statements and changes that Gearbox was actually wanting. So, but, you know, too bad for G2A that Gearbox has already shut down all their ties with G2A. They've broken up with them. They got the divorce out of the marriage. They got out of that abusive marriage that they were having. And they actually also, I believe I said this at the beginning of the video, they actually taken down the special edition of Bulletstorm off their website now, so it's now unavailable on their website. It's probably available on the GameStop now. I haven't checked their website or anything like that, so I'm not sure. But other than that, I'm rambling off now. I'm off the video there. I believe there's nothing else for me to talk about, and it's also raining, so I gotta end off the video there. So there's not too much of a ruckus going on. So other than that, hope you guys liked it. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like if you feel like, and also subscribe if you feel like I'm worthy enough. It always helps, and I'm also very appreciative of it. I noticed that I hit over 100. I have 103, 104. Like, I'm bouncing between 102 to 104 right now. So thank you guys for that. Thank you guys for the support. If you guys are actually watching and subscribe to me, thank you very much. But other than that, don't forget to put your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. What did you guys think about this? And let me know about how I did about this, because this is actually a totally new subject to me. Somewhat of a new subject, and I'm not used to talking about this type of subject. I actually talk about other things, gaming news related, but yeah, but let me know how I did on that, and how do you guys feel about all this between the ties against Gearbox Software and also G2A. But let me know, and as always, have a good day, night, afternoon, whatever time you guys are watching this. As always, keep it old school. I'll catch you guys in the next video later, and as always, thank you for watching, and keep it old school.